Okay, now this document's interesting because Napoleon had risen to be seemed to be undefeatable, that he won a series of victories and had France and the allies that he had gathered together at the gates of Moscow. But as it turned out, Moscow was overextended, and when Napoleon had to retreat from Russia, it was an absolute disaster. He was eventually captured and put on the island of Elba. The island he was captured by the alliance of Russia and Great Britain, and then Prussia and Austria. And when he was taken, he was put in prison on the island of Elba, which is off the coast of right near Rome. So you take a look at this letter, though. What happens is on the 5th of March, 1815, he escaped the island of Elba as the European leaders were in Vienna talking about how they were going to recreate Europe after Napoleon had been the genie had been put in the bottle. But if you could imagine, for example, VE Day with Hitler on an island having been captured rather than having been killed, and having him escape and come back to Germany and watch the Germans rally together so that they could fight more glorious battles. Well, that's the European nations were horrified when they learned that Napoleon had escaped. And what you see here is his letter to the people of France. He blames other people for what happened, and you'll see if you read this carefully, he's saying that he is doing what the French need him to do, that he's being heroic, and that he is doing this for the interest of his country, and he's coming back to France. So the many French rallied together. They abandoned the new king that had been installed to rule over France with Napoleon's capture, and they all ran to him. And Napoleon formed an army to fight one last battle. That would be the Battle of Waterloo, which was in June 1815 in Belgium. the an alliance of the Prussians, primarily the Prussians, Austrians, and the British, were able to defeat Napoleon and his forces at the Battle of Waterloo. And this time he'd be exiled much further away in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. So take a look at this and see how, for example, how he was talking about how he was a hero, how that other people had abandoned him, and that he was coming back for the French people because he heard their needs and rallied for them and took on personal danger to do it. So he's making himself out to be a hero.